Good morning. Today is the 22nd of January 2025 and I'm going to go through my watch list and today's plan. But as always, before we start, let's take a look, see what news could move the market. Wednesday 22nd, we had some minor news in the pre-market, mortgage rate, and we have minor news today as well. So not a great deal. It could leave them, could move the market. Watch out for the 20-year bond market. It says it's 1 out of 3. But we could see a bit of movement then. So let's just crack on. On my screen, we're looking at the ES, which is the S&P 500 E-mini futures, and we're on the, let's start with the daily time frame so we can see where we are. So we're in this massive daily uptrend. It's been going on for 2 years, December 2023, right over a year now, and we're not putting in new all-time highs, but we're getting up into that region, 61,200 area, 6160, and we've had a bit of a push up, but notice the reduction in volume. And then look at the last candle, a little bit of increased volume. We may see a bit of follow through from that, but we are coming into this area of confidence right now, which is marked by that shaded area, 6120 area. That's a potential rejection area, so potentially we've got much volume to the left. There's a little bit of volume, there's a volume shelf there, and another volume shelf just above as well, 6130. So with that, we've reducing volume. I know we had a holiday this week as well, so maybe that's reducing volume because of that, but we have an increase in price, and it's a bit of a divergence right now. So 6200 is an area to watch for if we do get up into this all-time highs area again. We've broken that trend line, so we could potentially watch for a pullback, for a bounce, and maybe a swing play. But we are looking pretty bullish right now, and we're going to remain bullish until the trend's broken. And when I say the daily trend, this is this trend line. If we break down below this area, then we can say the trend's broken. But we're just looking at a bit of a pullback right now. Didn't quite get up to that section of the range, so maybe showing a little bit of weakness, but we'll see where we get to. If we break this pivot, then we're still going to be continuing that trend. So let's go drop down to the hourly, see if we've got any levels we can watch today. So we're in this region here, which is right an area of confluence. So we've got tops of pivots over here, tops of pivots over here, bottoms of pivots here, and we kind of blasted our way through it yesterday. So if we break out of that area, then we can ignore this zone we've got marked off. Notice the lack of volume in that area, so I'm not a big fan of a rejection here right now. But if we come back down and we come back out and retest the zone with no more follow through, I might be looking for a short. 6100 could be a key area to watch, and 6000 we can also watch for a bounce. Otherwise, our next place we can watch is, notice the point of control and this region here, this pivot here. So let's keep an eye on 61. This is an area to watch as well. That's where the volume is. We've got, the last time we came up into that area, we had this big reaction, big down reaction. So we might see a similar reaction. We've not been back up there since then, so we may see a similar reaction. We get up to 6140. So 6140 is an area I'm going to have on watch. I'm just going to mark that off. I'm going to use this box here because it's just a region of supply. I'll just fine tune it. So we're looking for top of that green candle and then the bottom of the next red. That's where, so that, when I look for my supply and demand zones, I'm basically looking, let's get rid of that now because let's leave it there for now, but I will be looking to get rid of that. What I'm looking for is when we add a bit of a change of color, basically change of candle color. So we're coming up, came down, pushed in, no more follow through, and then we can see the sellers what's that, the point of control? Yeah, the sellers became in control, and then it sold off. What day was this? This is a Wednesday. I'm not sure. What's that day? The 18th. That's last week. I can't remember what event that was. Was it one of these CPIs or PPI numbers or something like that? So I'm going to keep an eye on up there for potential rejection. And what I'll be looking for, I want to see the market move into this area with no more follow through and come back out. And potentially a higher probability is it's a retest of that area back down with a lower high, or a double top. But if we do break out of that zone, if the candle goes through, then it's invalidated. And so that's the reason I keep an eye on these zones. There's an area of demand. And same here, we're coming right to the very top end of it now. And despite the lack of volume, I was keeping an eye on it because it's an area of confluence as well. But you know, last time we came there, we big rejection. We've yet to come back, and we didn't get the rejection we wanted this time. So potentially it's invalid. But we'll see what happens when we get to the bottoms of these pivots here, because this is an area of confluence. Got tops of candles there, bottoms of candles here, and we're coming into that area right now in the pre-market high. Basically that's where the pre-market high is. So 61,121, we can watch for a rejection, but really want to see it break this trend. So that's what I'll be looking for. So if we do reject that area, I'm not looking to go short as soon as we get to that area. I'm looking for it to reject, come back up into that region like that, break this trend, and my entry will be about here on that kind of pullback. Obviously I'm looking for trend continuation as well. And trend continuation, I'm looking for a pullback, a break and retest of pre-market high, maybe something like that. Or I do quite like this region here for a bounce, 69.70, 69.69, and potentially even this pre-market low area. Let's just see how that looks to the left. Yeah, I do quite like this pre-market low area. We've got these tops of these pivots here. We've got pre-market low break through, pull back and rejected. So if we come back down to here, potentially I'll be looking for a long as well. And obviously if we lose pre-market low and we break down, then I'll be looking for the break and retest short. So let's keep an eye on 6100. That's a key area to watch today as well. So let's mark that up. And I think that's really the areas I'm watching. Just get rid of that alert as well. I like to put alerts in so I don't have to stare at screens all day. Bounce areas. We've got this area as well. 60, 70 is a bounce area. Bottoms of pivots there, tops of pivots, tops of pivots. We kind of consolidated, couldn't quite break out, and then we did break out. We came back for almost retested it. So we can watch this area as well for the bounce. I think that's it. I'm going to try and keep it as simple as possible. Excuse me. I'm going to try and keep it really simple today. I had another losing day yesterday. That's 3 losing days in a row, and red days are quite unusual, and I think it's more out of frustration. I went into my first losing day last week on a bit of a high because I've only had green days. I'm a bit overconfident. I think the second losing day I was a bit pissed off because I was overconfident and I had a red day. And yesterday I tried a break and retest of a pre-market, I think it was pre-market low yesterday. Didn't work, and I was adamant I wanted to go short, and we had this big trend up. So in fact the second 2 trades I shouldn't have even taken because they weren't even at levels I would normally take. However, had I waited, yesterday we had a perfect break and retest of pre-market high. I think that might be in that bit there. On the 2 minute, there's a big air gap. I like to see an air gap in the trend. So if it breaks, I want to see it look like this, come back up, pull back down into the pre-market high with this area as an air gap. Maybe let me just dig out 2 minute from yesterday, because it was a perfect break and retest, and I was, you know, by that point I've already exceeded my maximum loss for the day, so I had to walk anyway. Look at this chop. This is where I got chopped up in this chop area, but I was using NQ, and it was doing okay at one point, and I took a little tiny bit of profit, but then I let it stop out, and then I went short again. But where were we? It was about here. So notice, I think the pre-market high yesterday was, where was it? I think it was here. Yeah, so that's the pre-market, basically that line there. So basically just below there we broke out, we came back down. So we didn't quite break the pre-market high there, wasn't a break and retest on the 2 minute there. But here it was, this is the air, I like to look for an air gap. So it broke out, oh, let's get that back down. So it kind of went, broke out, the pre-market high came back down. It was a bit choppy there, but this is what I'm looking for. There's no air gap there. The difference is there's no gap, there's no, here, however, is the air gap. Pushed up, pulled back down into the pre-market low area. Perfect entry would have been there, stopped below there, and look at it, it just ran all day, all the way into the closing. So had I just waited just until then, rather than get chopped up in this region here, then I probably would have had a decent day. It would have been an easy day, but lack of impatience, and I do try to finish my trading around this time between 11 and 12. I don't really want to trade on, but even then you can see this breakout of that chop back in the retest, bit of a, onto the trend line as well, the 50 and the 200, and we're always above the VWAP, and it was above the opening range candle as well. Where was the opening range? I think I looked for the first 15 minutes, this region here, so we're kind of in the top half of the 15-minute range. So it's a little bit frustrating, and so today I need to be much better and more clinical what I do and not rush into trades for the sake of it. Okay, let's move on to SPY. Look at the 1 hour time frame. Okay, so we've got this region up here of supply marked out. We've got the point of control just below as well, so 608. We do have this region here with a massive big sell-off, so let's keep an eye on that area. So we're kind of in that area right now, pre-market 0606, so it's a high risk because we're so close to it, high risk rejection. So let's just wait for the trend break and look for the entry. So it's quite a narrow trend line, break, retest into this region for the rejection. Bounces, we can watch this area here for a bounce. So let's keep that yesterday's low in place. 602.98 is a bounce area. If we lose that, we do have this area of confidence just here as well, where we've got bottoms of candles, tops of pivots, tops and bottoms of pivots in that area, and that's 5.98. That's yesterday's low as well. SPX, I don't think there's any new levels. No real new levels. Keep an eye on this 60-68 area, 60-100. No, 60-68 area for a potential rejection. And if we're looking for a short, we want to be below that area. If we've broken that area and we're looking for a short up in the all-time highs area, 60-100, keep an eye on that as a key area to watch as well. We touched it there. If we get up to 60-100, I'll probably look for a rejection on the S. NQ. Still in this uptrend, doesn't look like it wants to break. It's broken that pivot there. So let's watch for a retest of this region. Pre-market low retest for a bounce. A nicer area would be this region here. Yesterday's high for a bounce. And then rejection. We've got this area here. 22-100 is a nice rejection area based on previous pivots. A little bit of volume below. But there is a round number, a psychological number, 22,000 is an area we can watch. You can see we haven't really honoured it. We did reject it there, broke through, we held that region, sold through that, came back up. We did reject it, that's 22,100, we rejected it there, so maybe it could be an area to watch as well. So let's just quickly mark these up. 2200, psychological number. I'll just roughly in the area. Just keep an eye on this region as well. And then bounce wise, where we said basically yesterday's high and yesterday's low. QQQ. Coming into that rejection area right now. So this is a high risk rejection. So again, we want to go into that zone around about 531 area. And if we lose it, then let's find an entry, either a breaking out of that trend, breaking out of that zone, or a retest of that area, something like that. So let's keep an eye on that area. Nothing until we get up in this region to 536, and then bounce. The only place I like the bounce is down here at 520, and that's only because we've got to pull back into that region there and a pivot there. But that's about it for QQQ. Crude oil is putting in a downtrend right now. We've been in an uptrend for some weeks, but we could potentially be breaking that trend. Are we looking at a funny shaped inverse head and shoulders pattern? That's the neckline I just drawn, and we've broken it, come back and retested it. Just keep an eye on a break and retest of pre-market high then. 76.50, break and retest long. That'll be breaking this trend then. Otherwise, the only place we can watch for a bounce, I'm not sure why those lines are drawn there, 75. These are old pivots, let's get rid of them. We've got nothing until we get back down into this region. We could watch yesterday's low for a potential bounce, pre-market low, because we've got that pivot there, and we've got a little bit of volume to the left as well. So let's just mark that back up again. This region here. Otherwise, we've got a big void. We're reducing volume as well until we get back down into this last pivot. Gold. It's broken out. Look at this. So we're talking about this. We've got it's going between this range for some time. Didn't quite lose it. That's the first sign of strength there, where we created a new trend down here, and we couldn't come back down to retest this trend line or even this trend line here. And then we broke out of the trend line, we came back and retested it, and now we're putting in a bit of a bear flag, a bull flag. And then yesterday, day before, we've broken out. So let's watch for a retest of yesterday's low. That's a retest of the bull flag. Or we can watch for a break and retest over pre-market high. And then we've got a volume shelf and a big area of confidence just here as well. So potentially we're coming into that now. So it might be hard to try and get it out of that area. We could watch this region for potential rejection. So let's just mark that up. So 27,883 for the rejection area. That's basically, and then all the way down that point of control. Basically this zone what we're in. In fact, if you look at pre-market high right now, assuming we've come into that zone already twice. First time, second time, third time, and then rejection. So with no new follow through, let's look for a break and retest a pre-market low, or if we do get through, break and retest a pre-market high. RTY, putting in this trend, which seems to doesn't want to get over this level here we've had marked up some time. Bottoms of those pivots there, a little bit of volume to the left. So this is a key area, 2340. Let's look left to see what else we got. Oh, it tops of these two pivots as well. So it is a major area. I'll just draw out the region we're watching. So 2340 is our rejection area. Again, we want to see a market come in, not break that area. We don't want to get over these pivots really. Otherwise it's invalidated. And then we want to see it come out, potentially reject, break that trend line, come back in, no more follow through, a lower high, and watch it for the short. YM, again we've got this nice hourly uptrend, and there's no, you could keep an eye on each one of these pivots. That's a confluence. This region here I like because of these areas here, and that's exactly where we are right now. So potentially we're at a rejection point, big area of confluence. Looking left, we've got that volume shelf as well, and I didn't even see that, nor did I see the price was there until I just literally saw that region, that region, that region, and realised that's where the price is right now. So 44,500, I think that is. 44,400 for the rejection, higher risk rejection because we're in an uptrend. So we really want to see it break that trend line, come back up, retest and short. And then Bitcoin finally, and then a bounce place. we can keep an eye on this area of confidence down here. So 43,700, 43,400, that region. And obviously the point of control is right down here as well. So 4,300, and it's a big psychological number as well, 4,300. So watch that area for a potential bounce. And then finally Bitcoin. Bitcoin, did it put in a new high? Yeah, we got a new high. When was that? That was on Monday. Didn't put in a new high yesterday. So I could say I'm looking at a head and shoulders pattern. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, neckline is down here, which happens to be 100,000. Big psychological number. So there's two plays we can watch here. We do have a bit of volume as well, and we've been going sideways, so it's not really ending volume. It might be just starting the trend volume. Let's watch for a bounce at 100,000. If we lose 100,000, look for the break and retest down to 92. The point of control is right down here as well. This is where all the volume is currently at that price, around about 98 to 99. And if we break over pre-market high, let's look for a break and retest long. Profits at yesterday's high, profits at all-time high. I've been doing okay. I had a good trade on Bitcoin yesterday. I've been watching it for a while and I keep saying I should trade it, so I did start to take some trades in it. So I'm playing it on the 15-minute chart. And what day is it today? The 22nd, so it's Tuesday. So I got into Bitcoin yesterday right here. So it's big sell-off, and it came into, well, basically it was when was it? I can't remember which one it was. I need to look it up. I think it was that one there. It was there actually, because it was at the low of the day. I was watching that on the 15. I was watching it on the 5 as well. So we put in a low, bottom tail, and then I went long here, and then I added when we broke out of this area as well, and I added when we got back into this region as well. So when we broke out over that area, so I got longer there, I added a little bit more, and I added down there, and I took literally profits out. It was just before I left. It must have been about 3 PM. So in that area I took profits. So that was a decent trade, and that was using the MBT futures. Let's clear that. MBT. It's the micro Bitcoins futures. So exactly the same as the Bitcoin chart, but you can trade. I trade it on I was trading this one on Top Step, but you can do it on Apex as well, I believe. So, and that was in my entry there. I don't know what it looked like on the 2-minute. I generally don't look at the 2-minute because it's a bit messier. Yeah, look how messy that is. I wouldn't have got in on that. But I think the 15-minute just gets rid of all of the doubt, all of the clutter. Where was it? That one there. So look how much cleaner that is on the 15-minute. So that's why I'm looking at that. And I do like looking at it on the daily, but obviously I can't day trade the daily. So this is where we're looking at it on the daily. We've had this push up on volume, and then we had this sideways and a bit of a pullback, so a bit of a bear flag, and now we've broken that flag. We came back and retested yesterday. That's the reason I went long. In fact, I should have mentioned that. It was a bit of a bull flag as well. And then we are currently just here. Where are we at now? 104, 105,000. And we've got this nice double top. Oh, we did put in a high yesterday. What was that high? 110, 135, 109. Yeah, so yesterday was a new all-time high as well, and a big rejection. One thing to note with all-time highs, I've noticed this a few times. Every time I put in a new all-time high, so here's a new all-time high. We had a rejection here, a rejection here, a rejection here, big rejection. And then we had another all-time high here, and now we can see a big rejection today. So let's keep an eye on that. And that's it really. The time is 9:25. Market opens in 5 minutes. Order flow is not looking any different as well. It's just looking as expected. Price is rising. Cumulative delta is rising. Price is selling off. Cumulative delta is selling off. Although it's selling off in bigger chunks than we've seen on the price. I'll update the news events on there in a minute. Do that now for the 22nd. So no real tomorrow, medium and high news tomorrow. So nothing really to write home about on the order flow just yet. So just keep an eye on that. I'm looking for divergences when we get to our levels where we're looking for rejections or continuations. Okay, appreciate you watching. Thank you. And if you like this, hit the like button. If you have any comments, leave me a comment as well. Anything else you want me to look at. And I will be in the live stream, which is the stream that looks like what we're looking at right now on the other stream. So I'll be there most of the day, but I won't be watching it continuously. So leave me a message in the chat and I'll try and get back to you. Okay, thank you for watching.